Hi everyone, and thanks for joining us for another Hangout on Air. My name is Katie, and today I'm joined by my colleague Shayna. We are in our Mountain View headquarters. Just telling you a little bit about remarketing today. So we're really excited to share some of the cool things that you can do within your AdWords account. If you are joining us live from our Google Plus page, please feel free to leave questions there and we'll get to them later. So like I said, we're going to talk about remarketing and dynamic remarketing. This is a really cool feature in your AdWords account where you can show ads to users who have been to your website before. So it's a really great way to increase your return on investment and make sure that you're showing to a very relevant audience. So the way that it works is if people come to your website, there's a tag that is placed on every single page of your site called a remarketing tag. And if a user visits your site, they are added to an audience list. You can then target that list and you can show ads to users who are on our display network. You can show specific ads to them. One of the main uses of this is showing ads to somebody who has maybe been to a shopping cart page or viewed a specific product, and you can show a very tailored message to that user. You know they've been to your site before, you know they're interested in your product or service, so you can show an ad to them. Like I mentioned, the really cool thing about this feature is that it can help increase your return on investment a lot because you know you're showing to a very specific audience. So we're going to go into a couple of details. Shayna's going to tell us a little bit about getting started with remarketing.
Yeah, so the first part of remarketing is we have to create that list. That's the list. We put the code on your website, and we're going to be able to track the people's cookies so that we know exactly where they're going across the web and be able to show those remarketing ads. So let's hop over to AdWords and we'll do a screen share and show you exactly how to create that. Okay, great. So we're going to go to the shared library in the bottom left-hand corner of that navigation bar. And if this was your first remarketing campaign, there's going to be a button that says Set Up Remarketing. So you can see that we've already set it up, so the option is not going to be here. But it's actually going to give you the option to send the code to your webmaster, and you'll be able to get started there.
Yep, exactly. So once you have that tag set up, we're going to talk a little bit more about how to create a granular list. So the all visitors list is one that, as it says, is going to be all visitors to your website. But if you want to target somebody more specific, as I mentioned earlier, like somebody who viewed a specific product or a page of your shopping cart, you can do that here as well. So go ahead and click the red plus remarketing list. And you can enter a descriptive remarketing list name. For example, non-converters is what we're going to do here. And next you can choose what you want to add to your list, who you want to add to your list. So for example, we will use visitors of a page who did not visit another page. And what we're going to do for this is we want to say people who got to the like /cart page and then but did not get to the /checkout page. So what this is going to be is somebody who went to your shopping cart, maybe they were at the point where they were interested in buying your product, but they didn't actually purchase. So it's going to be a very specific audience. And then we'll go ahead and click Save, and you'll be able to see your new list in your audience list there. And like I said, you'll want to make sure that your audience list has users. It's going to be a very specific list to those people who viewed specific cart pages. And that'll be a really great way that you can create another ad, maybe another ad group, and we'll go into details about doing that.
So if you want to take this one step further, we actually have another feature called dynamic remarketing, and it's going to show you your users very specific products and services in those ads instead of kind of just a generic ad that you would have for just remarketing. So the first step of dynamic remarketing is identifying your business type. So we have retail, education, flights, hotel. We have a custom category for other. So that's going to be the first step in determining your dynamic remarketing campaign.
Yep, exactly. So what we're going to start with is the retail business. That's the most common use for dynamic remarketing ads. And the way that this essentially works is you have a product feed or a data feed that the system uses to know all about the different products that you're wanting to show to people. And then we use the dynamic remarketing tag to know what pages people looked at, know what products they looked at, and then we can show them an ad tailored to that specific page that they viewed. So it's a really, really great way to, again, show to a very specific audience and show very relevant content. That's one of the things that within AdWords that's so important. You want to make sure that users are seeing ads that are very relevant to them. And I would say dynamic remarketing is probably one of the best ways to do that. So what we're going to talk about here right now is the way that you would use Merchant Center, Google Merchant Center account for this retail vertical. So Google Merchant Center is where you create your product list. You give us all of the information about your products, and then you link Merchant Center with your AdWords account, and that's how we pull that in for dynamic remarketing. So we'll go through a quick demo of how you would link your Merchant Center account with AdWords. So let's jump into Merchant Center. You would log in there, and then go ahead and click Settings on the left-hand side. Click AdWords underneath that, and then you're going to link a new AdWords account. You can see we already have one linked here, but if you didn't already, you would click the red button to link a new AdWords account, put in your customer ID number, and then click Add. And we won't go into the details about actually creating a product list within Merchant Center, but there are a lot of instructions on that in our Help Center, and definitely let us know if you have any questions about that.
So what if you're not in the retail category? How are we going to set up a campaign? So this is pretty easy. We just have to identify our business type. So let's go ahead and jump back into AdWords, and we'll do a screen share of how to set up a campaign if you're not in the retail. So we're going to go back to the Online Campaigns tab. And we're going to click on the red plus campaign. And it's going to be a display network only type of campaign. And after you name your campaign, you're going to choose the remarketing. And we're just going to name this remarketing dynamic. And we're just going to scroll down and click on the box that says use dynamic ads. And here's where the option is for the different business types. And so let's just do education as an example. And then you're going to be asked to create a feed. If it's your first time creating a campaign, there'll actually be a pop-up that will have you walk through these 3 steps. So we've kind of done this already. And then after we're going to go into how to create the feed later. But you'll go through the feed creation. You'll set your budget, same like a regular campaign. Set your budget, create an ad group, and then you'll be definitely on your way.
Yep, exactly. So the next step that we're going to talk about is actually creating the second type of data feed. If you're not in the retail category and you're not using Merchant Center, there is another method to upload all of this product and service information to AdWords. So we're going to go into the shared library within this account, and this is where you would create that data feed and upload it. So once you're in the shared library, go ahead and click Business Data over on that left-hand side. And then you're going to click Plus Data and select Dynamic Display Ad Feed. Here again, you're going to select your business type. And if you've already created the dynamic remarketing campaign, you'll select that feed that AdWords automatically created for you. As Shana mentioned, you'll upload that file and skip the remaining steps. So I just want to mention that first. But if you haven't done that, then you'll enter your feed name here, browse for the file that you've created, and click Upload. Make sure that you check your feed for any errors after you do upload it. You want to make sure that there aren't any problems. Sometimes some of the errors, if you have any problems with images or anything like that, it can take a couple of hours for that to show. So just make sure that you're going through this setup process a little while before you want the campaign to actually run. So you want to make sure you have everything set up properly. One thing to mention here as well about just the data feed creation in general, it is pretty straightforward. You use kind of a spreadsheet format where you put in all of the products or services into a row, and then all of the columns are used for the attributes, all of the product attributes, prices, things like that. So again, we're not going to go into detail about the actual feed creation right now, but there are a lot of resources online that we can definitely help you with if you have any questions there.
Thanks, Katie. Okay, so this next step is we're going to actually have to put on a specific code for dynamic remarketing. And this code is going to, same function as the other code, just slightly different code text. So let's hop over into AdWords. We'll show you what that code looks like. It's going to be in the shared library again, bottom left-hand corner. And audiences. And in the far right, tag details. We're going to be able to grab this code. And you can see here that this code is slightly different. They have some custom parameters in here where you see where it says replace with value. So you are going to have to work with your web developer here to fill in those values. For example, one example would be like a product ID that gets pulled in to actually show the product that you're selling. So that's just going to be the code here that you're going to need to get, and you'll be all set up there once that's on your web pages.
Yep, exactly. So as Shayna mentioned, the code is very, very important for building these accurate lists. The product ID is usually how we match users with the pages that they've seen. So that is the magic of dynamic remarketing and how we can show those very tailored ads to your users in those different audience lists. Very cool. So the final step, I know we've gone through a lot of steps for dynamic remarketing. The last step is creating your dynamic ads. So this is how we pull that product information, we figure out what products a user viewed, and we're going to choose the ones that are very relevant to them and then show dynamic ads. So we're going to use those product images that you give us to show ads to these users when they're browsing the display network. So we'll go ahead and jump back into that AdWords account and take a look at how to set this up. You'll want to make sure you're on the Campaigns tab up at the top, and then choose your dynamic remarketing campaign on the left-hand side. Once you're there, go ahead and click the Ads tab. And then from here, you'll click the red plus ad, and you'll choose the ad gallery. And then choose Dynamic Ads over on the left-hand side here, and click Create. And then you'll be able to choose either text or image ad. Let's go ahead and choose Image Ad and click Create there. And if you choose an image ad, what's important to note here is that you can choose a specific layout. So you can either choose AdWords will automatically pick from your preferred layouts, or you can select one AdWords layout. Also, one thing to note is that the selecting one layout is the layouts aren't available for retail ads. So if you want to do preferred ones, that's only available for other different business categories. So you'll see that there are a lot of things that you can customize here. You can see a preview of the ad. You can make a couple of other changes if you want to. If everything looks good, go ahead and click Preview and Save up at the top. And then that's it. You would have your ad created. Once you have the code on your site, you're going to begin building those audience lists. Make sure that they're added to your ad group target so that we know who to show the ad to. And there you go. You'll be showing very tailored ads, and hopefully you'll see a really great return on investment from this. So I know that we covered a lot today. We went over a lot of different steps. If you have any questions, absolutely let us know, and we'll be more than happy to help you set this up. And that's it for today. So thank you so much for everyone who joined us. Thank you, Shayna, for joining us today. And we look forward to seeing you for our next Hangout on Air.